Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Voting continues as millions have their say in the UK general election with a little under 90 minutes to go before polls. The Conservative Party, which has ruled Britain for 14 years, is being challenged by the Labour Party for power, while a number of smaller parties are hoping to impact the course of the night. Votes are counted as soon as polls close, with Britain's next government usually formed the next morning. Let's bring in SABC International News Editor Sophie Mukwena to look at the exit polls as the UK elections close. A very good evening to you. A lot, of course, of eyes on the outcome of these elections, a lot of engagement which could come from it. But of course, we know that as we monitor them very closely, South Africa itself has a lot to benefit from the outcome.
Yes, you are correct. At 10 p.m. local time, that was 2300 South African time, voting stopped, and there was a decision now to release the exit polls. And in terms of the exit polls, they indicate, or they are indicating that the Labour Party is expected to win this election with more than 400 seats, which is a huge margin and a huge majority. And therefore, it is clear that Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party, is set to become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And you'd recall that for 14 years, it has been the Conservative, and now you see Labour Party coming back very strong. And they are saying that it is actually a massacre when you look at the other parties that are following Labour Party, quite a huge margin or gap. And therefore, clearly the Labour Party is in. And we are correct. In terms of South Africa, I think the African National Congress will be very happy tomorrow, including the SACP and also the Workers' Federation, COSATU, and I think NUMSA and all of that, those who are pro-socialist policy. And ANC, though it is a mixed bag of policy and ideology, but they have a long-standing relationship with the Labour Party. I remember even the former president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki, used to engage the then Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Tony Blair, because they used to meet a lot. Particularly, there was a movement or a grouping of the socialist parties around the world. And when they had those meetings, the Labour parties from different countries would be part of that. And the African National Congress was part of that. And I remember them coming to South Africa, and there was a conference in Northwest, and Tony Blair was there. And therefore, I think for the African National Congress, it is tomorrow a day to be happy to see the Labour Party making a strong comeback. And I think the ANC will speak to their counterparts within the Labour Party to find out how did they turn this situation around, and perhaps hoping that they can assist them, because it is almost like their international sister party, to prepare for the 2029 elections.
Yeah. Of course, with bilateral relations between South Africa and the UK being historical and now set to become even stronger, we know that there are opportunities for not only South Africa, but Africa as a continent. But just honing on South Africa being the UK's #1 exports destination within Africa and the 13th most important supplier of South Africa's imports, also boding very well, especially looking at the state of the current economy here in South Africa and the kind of muscle that this relation has.
Yes, you are correct. You know that since the Brexit, the bilateral trade relations and political relations are the ones that are holding the two countries together. And therefore, I think where there are issues, particularly in relation to agricultural exports, they can now have a better audience with the Labour Party because of their historic relations and ties. And therefore, you are correct. We might see a situation where trade between the United Kingdom and South Africa increasing because the relationship will be better. It doesn't mean that the previous government of the United Kingdom, after Labour Party, there was no relationship. The relationship were there. You'd recall that the first head of state to visit United Kingdom after the king took the reins, King Charles of Britain took the reins. It was President Ramaphosa who was invited to the United Kingdom. And I think with the Commonwealth Summit coming very soon, all the countries of the Commonwealth will then have an opportunity to be introduced to a new leader of government in the United Kingdom, and that is the Labour Party leader. And I think even President Ramaphosa, if he is going to attend the Commonwealth Summit, they will meet there. If he is going to attend the G20 in Brazil, the United Kingdom will be there in Brazil. And also at the UN General Assembly in September, another opportunity to meet. So the president might have the bilateral meetings with the new leader, and that can happen during those international conferences or gatherings. And I think one of them the president will attend, particularly the G20, because it is Brazil hosting G20, and South Africa and Brazil have very strong ties. And you know that Lula also is from a Labour background, and you can see that the South-South, again, things are shaping up, and also in relation to the old friends are coming together again, and there's an opportunity, particularly at this challenging time globally, where many countries are gravitating towards the right wing, as we see now with France, and clear indication that on Sunday there's a likelihood that we'll see Marine Le Pen getting a nod and moving towards the right. But here is the United Kingdom coming back again in the fold.
Very well. Thank you so much for that update. Of course, SABC International News Editor Sophie Mukwena looking at the exit polls as the UK elections close, a developing story that we continue to monitor throughout the course of the evening.